All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Kor Halor Yahweh, Ba Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you sincere Akim out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. With that being said, Adawan Ratazah, this will be edifying. As usual, I'm going to go into Rakah Kodash. And I'm not sure where exactly I heard this information from, but I heard it from multiple sources, but I watched so many videos, I can't exactly recall who exactly I've heard saying it, but I've heard it multiple times. And basically, which I'm gonna skim through this article right here, just browse through it. But the main thing that I've been hearing about is the military has Salakia been calling back uh, uh, um, retirees, people that had previous military service, veterans. That's what I've been hearing, allegedly. Multiple sources have said the same thing, and it calls me to do some due diligence. All right? So, real quick, off of the Google, I found two articles on it. As you can see, I Googled military callback. It says, yes, military retirees can be recalled to active duty in times of national crisis or war. Again, yes, military retirees can be recalled to active duty in times of national crisis or war. This is done by a service secretary under regulations set by SECDEF. Retirees are usually recalled in their retired grade and will receive full pay and allowances. So I found another article, and it says, off of Google again, it says, yes, the military can recall veterans to active duty as a last resort to address many manning shortages. The Secretary of the Air Force has reintroduced the voluntary retired return to active duty program, allowing up to 1,000 retired officers and enlisted personnel to rejoin active duty starting February 8th, 2024. So it's not a conspiracy, it's not a it's factual. The actual Air Force, okay, has already implemented it. So it is true. All right? They are getting letters, they are getting callbacks showing you the time that we're in, because as the first article read, it said what? Retirees can be recalled to active duty in times of national crisis or war. And real quick, the main scripture is going to be Joel chapter 3. But real quick, because we're broken records, and I've heard it multiple on different occasions. Multiple different sources have said the same thing, which prompted me to finally actually do a little bit of digging to see if it's factual, which it turns out it is. So this is real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time and a purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Jump down to verse 8. A time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. So there's a time and place for everything, right? There's a season for everything. And the season that we're in, the time that we're heading into, like we keep saying, are evil times, bad times, the times of judgment, the times of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai visiting this place, visiting the world that he made. And he's visiting this place with wrath, with anger. We're not in a time of love. We're in a time of hate. All right? Division is being stirred up. All right? We're in a time of war, not peace. That's the main point. We're in war times. The war drums have been beaten louder and louder. Okay? So much so that they re-implemented this, okay? And and then I'm gonna skim through that article that I showed you initially, right? Because with broken records, we definitely are in these times. So going back to this article here, it says yes, the military can recall veterans to active duty as a last resort. It's a last ditch effort. I guess that's also why it's not a conspiracy. It's not looking like it's not. That's why all these migrants that are crossing the border are men of military fighting age, because we're in war times, and recruitment is at an all-time low. So much so that they had to lower the standards. They had to call back veterans, you know, and it's looking like they're gonna give people their citizenship as long as they agree to fight. So it says yes, the military can recall veterans to active duty as a last resort to address manning shortages. The Secretary of the Air Force has reintroduced the voluntary. Right now, it's voluntary, but we know a draft is coming. You know, that's coming also. Has reintroduced the voluntary retired return to active duty program, allowing up to 1,000 retired officers and enlisted personnel to rejoin active duty starting February 8th, 2024. Again, it's already in effect. We're in what, April now, right? What's today's date? April 4th. So it says the Air Force is focusing on bringing back commissioned roles such as pilots, cyber specialists, and contracting officers, as well as staffing up the enlisted corps in areas like security forces, air traffic control, recruiting, and healthcare. Retirees will receive full pay and allowances and generally serve in their retired grade. So there's a couple articles down here you can see from Air Force Times, February 7th, 2024. It says Air Force seeks retirees to come back to active duty. Here's another one. Retired officers enlisted members can rejoin active. This is active duty. So it's factual. It's factual. All right. So not only is this happening in America, Babylon the Great, but we know globally this is happening because this is this is a global war. This is a global thing. All right. The Third World War. We're at the door of it, and we know all throughout Europe these different European nations have been mentioning conscription, which conscription is nothing more than a draft. They're talking about bringing back the conscription. Why? Because that's the season that we're in. We're in the season of war. You just had Russia send their military warships. They sent what they call them, tankers, or I forget what they call them, aircrafts. They sent aircrafts um, uh, down in the Red Sea, and that's already a hotbed of activity, a powder keg. So Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is truly stirring these nations up, gathering these nations, gathering the armies for this third woe. Salakia. It reads conscription, compulsory enlistment for state service, typically into the armed forces. All right, and I believe Ukraine had a here it is. Ukraine lowers its conscription age to 25 to replenish its beleaguered, however you say that, troops, because they've been getting mollywopped by Russia. You know, so much so that France is talking about sending troops over there. You know, which we know that what's going on in Ukraine, that's nothing more than a proxy war between the West and the East. Okay, NATO and the EU versus Russia and their allies, pretty much. Okay, so that's all throughout the news. Talks of conscription, talks of draft. Conscription, draft, same thing. Lowering the recruitment ages. Because that's the vibration that's in the air, in the earth. War. We're not in the time of peace. So let's gonna skip around, just read a little bit of this article from AUSA, Association of the United States Army, and the article is entitled "A New Age of Army Recruits." Older soldiers find it's never too late to join. At one point, they would have turned you away after you hit a certain age, but we're in such dire times. They're so desperate, you know. Hey, man. Oh, man. Beautiful times. Beautiful times. So it says depictions of Army recruits commonly invoke images of recent high school graduates reciting the oath of enlistment, but recruits whose call to service comes later in life could represent an untapped demographic for an army struggling to fill its ranks. It's no secret. I'm not reading all this crap. Certain things had popped out to me. Let me see. Salakia. Let's see. Salakia, bear with me. There was something else in here that a couple things had popped out to me. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to read. It says quality over quantity. In today's challenging recruiting environment, and the Army could make use of service eligible individuals over the age of 21. Every branch, every branch of the U.S. military struggled to meet its fiscal 2022 recruiting goals, with the Army missing its target by about 15,000 soldiers. Still, Army Chief of Staff General James McConville reaffirmed that the Army will seek quality recruits, which is bullshit. You know, they just that's bullshit. If that was the case, they wouldn't be lowering the standards. You know, extending the age to old people. You know, we are not going to lower the standards. That's a lie. They already have. He said we are not going to lower the standards, he said in October at the 2022 Association of the U.S. Army annual meeting and exposition. Quality is more important than quantity. Recruits over 21 are one potentially undertapped group that could provide qualified and interested prospects, the 2022 RAND report said. So that's a lie, though. That's a lie. Let me see. I thought there was something else in here, but, you know, do your own due diligence. You get the idea. But the point of the matter, I don't want to make this video too long, but like I said, I've heard this being in the talks more and more. It's becoming more and more prevalent. More and more people are speaking about, especially veterans. They're talking about they're getting letters to come back and join, you know, re-enlist. And right now it's voluntary, but shortly it won't be. Why? Because this is the times that we're living in, you know. So real quick, not too long again. I heard it so much that I had to do my due diligence, and I said, let me do a little quick lesson on it. You know, it's official. It's facts. They are calling veterans back, you know, to re-enlist. You know, conscription is all throughout the world. Everybody's talking about drafting, lowering the standards, you know, extending the age. Why? Because we're in the times of war. We're at the door of the Third World War. The second woe passed, the third woe cometh quickly. So I'm gonna close out here, Joel chapter 3, verse 9. We usually read it in the KJV, but I'm gonna read it in the NLT. So close out here. Again, Adawan Watazadis was edifying, exhorting, and comforting to the elect. Joel 3 and 9 in the NLT. It says, say to the nations far and wide, because this is a global thing. This is a global war. The Third World's War. What you see happening is a line being drawn in the sand. You're either with the West or with the East. All right? America, NATO and her EU allies, or you're with the East, Putin and their BRICS allies. Okay, that's why you see nations that have been neutral for decades. You know, all of a sudden now, they're picking a side, i.e., Sweden joined NATO. I forget the other nation. Neutral, well documented neutral nations have joined NATO. Why is that? Because we're about to go to war. Poland is about to, shit's getting hot and heavy over there. You know. So it says, say to the nations far and wide, great. It says like say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. All. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. You see? That's the times that we're living in. It's evident, it's obvious. And it's only going to intensify as time progresses. Again, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Yeah. All your resources, all your time and energy, all your money, don't put it into agriculture. Don't put it into your economy. Don't put it into your infrastructure. Put it into into the military industrial complex. Put all your effort, all your time and energy into warfare, because you're going to war. You're going to the third woe. All right, you're being gathered to the valley of Yehoshaphat, where Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is about to plead with you nations. For the controversy of Zion, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is about to judge you nations. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. Come quickly. The second woe passed, the third woe cometh quickly. Things are intensifying quickly. Things are escalating quickly. Hey, since those Israelis, them small hats, they did what they did over there in Gaza, the Gaza Strip, shit been intensifying, man. You know, come quickly, all you nations everywhere, gather together. And you just had that embassy, that was Iranian embassy that was bombed. Shit been escalating, man. We right there. We at the precipice. We at the brink of the third world's war. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley. What valley? The valley of Yehoshaphat, Yahweh's decision. And now, O Lord Yahweh, call out your warriors. Let the nations be called to arms. Let them march to the valley of Yehoshaphat. There I, the Lord Yahweh, will sit to pronounce judgment on them all. Swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, tread the grapes, for the winepress is full. The storage vats are overflowing with the wickedness of these people. The sins of this place have reached the heavens. Now it's time for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to judge them. Our cries, the cries of the elect, they haven't been falling upon deaf ears. They've entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of armies, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And he's about to judge these heathens. He's visiting the world that he made. Thousands upon thousands are waiting in the valley of decision. It says, there the day of the Lord, Yahweh will soon arrive. All right? So, hey, beautiful times that we're living in. Beautiful Yapar times. Not in the time of peace. Definitely not. We're in a time of war. All right? And what I was going to say, and shit going to ultimately escalate to what? Thermonuclear destruction. First, it's going to be hand-to-hand combat, traditional warfare, but it's going to escalate ultimately to what? Nuclear destruction. ICBMs, the Lord's arrows flying. As the scriptures say, how does it go? I don't want to botch it. I'll probably botch it. Every battle of the warrior is fought with confusion, loud noises, garments rolled in blood, roughly paraphrasing. But this shall be, but this shall be fought with fire and fuel. Um, Salakia, I'm botching it. I'm botching it. Let me get it. Salakia, I'm botching it. Salakia, I botched Isaiah 9:5. I close out here. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Again, traditional warfare. You know, swords, shields clanking. You know, you know, men screaming. You know, you know, loud bangs, confusion. For every battle of the warrior is fought is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But what's this? This third world's war, this galactic battle, this war to end all wars that's coming quickly. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. It's going to escalate to what? ICBMs, thermonuclear destruction. That's the second death. That lake of fire. The lake of fire is America being on fire, you know, completely wasted, desolate, destroyed, swept with the Bessemer destruction. You know, these nations, all these nations that have arrows emptying the clip, shooting at her, you know, you know, that's the ultimate judgment to this whore, Babylon the Great, and that day is quickly approaching. But prior to that, all hell is going to break loose, you know. So anyway, I don't want to write this out. This was edifying, exhorting, and comforting again to the elect. Keep pushing, keep fighting. We're close. Shalom. Wa abad babal. Kwam Nesharallah.